Hello, boys and girls. We are going to look at our calendar grid observation chart today and update it. So we're going to have to look at day 4 of our calendar grid markers. So let's just quickly review what we've already done. We've looked at days 1 through 3 so far. And we first found the dimensions, the vertical dimension and the horizontal dimension, estimated the area, and then found the exact area. And then we were looking at patterns and using relationships to help us solve these what can be more difficult problems because they have decimals involved. So we're kind of using what we knew to help us solve those. Okay, so let's go back and take a look at some of our calendar markers. So this was day 1, day 2, day 3, and now we're going to do day 4. Okay, and I see here that we have 7 6/10 by 2 6400. Now, it's so small up here, it's really hard to see, so they kind of made a zoomed in picture of it so you can see it better. All right, and remember, one of these squares, do you remember what they are? The area of this one square would be 100, right? So that tells me that the area of this pink rectangle has to be less than 100. It doesn't even look like 50, does it? It doesn't look like half. So it's got to be less than 100. So let's estimate. We know it's less than 100, but let's estimate a little bit better than that first. So 7 6/10, we've talked about this previously, that this is close to 8. So we'll say that this is about 8. And 2 6400, well, you can round that up to 3. So a good estimate would be 8 times 3, which is 24. Okay, so let's write that in our calendar grid chart. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to scroll up a little bit. So I've got to remember it was 7 6/10 by 2 6400. And then we're going to guess that this was about, what did I say, 24, right? So the estimated area would be 24. And now we're going to have to figure out the exact area. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to remember that you can use these other problems to help you solve this one. Pause the video, get a piece of paper and a pencil, and try to figure out what the exact area of that pink rectangle is. And then come back and push play, and we'll go over it together. All right, are you ready to solve the problem? If not, pause the video and finish solving it and then push play. All right, because now we're going to go over it. What I'm hoping you realize was that you could use one of the other problems to help you with this one. So I'm going to use one that we did the day 3, which was 7 6/10 times 264. And that one gave us an answer of, I believe it was 20, was it 2064? Yeah, no, yeah, 2006 and 4/10. What I should do is go make sure that I've got that right. So let me go back. 2006 and 4/10. Yep. Okay. So now what do I do? Well, these two are the same. 7 6/10 and 7 6/10 is the same, so I don't have to worry about that. But what I do notice is that 2 6400 is not the same as 264, but I know they're the same digits, so they are related in some way. How are they related? I notice that the 64 has moved over 2 place values to the right. So the 6 on 264 moved from the tens, it jumped to the ones and then the tenths. So that's 2 place values. That means that 264, we divide it by 100, right? When you move 2 place values to the right, you're dividing by 100. So my answer then needs to be divided by 100 as well. So the answer to this one, if I divide it by 100, it's supposed to be a division sign, there we go, divided by 100. Okay, now I'm going to take all of these digits and move them 2 place values to the right. So if the 2 was in the thousands, it'll jump to the hundreds, and it'll jump to the tens. So I know the 2 is going in the tens. This 0 will be in the ones. The next 0 would be in the tenths. The 6 would be in the hundredths, and the 4 would be in the thousandths. So 20 and 64 thousandths is our answer. And let's check, does that make sense? Remember, we estimated 24, 20 is close to 24, and we knew that this one, the area of this needs to be less than 100, and 20 is definitely less than 100. It makes sense to me. So now let's go ahead and fill that part in. So 20 and 64 thousandths. So here we go, 20 and 64 thousandths, and that would be the exact area of that pink rectangle. And that is it for today.